The group had been under surveillance for some time. Security specialists from Magma Security and Investigations say they had been following leads linking the suspects to several recent heists across the region. Just a day earlier, the gang allegedly targeted a cash delivery vehicle in Bulwer, overpowering guards and fleeing with bags of money. When authorities finally intercepted them near Takedown on Wednesday, the suspects opened fire, triggering a shootout in which all four were killed. Recovered from the scene were multiple firearms, explosives, and a substantial amount of cash, evidence of a well-coordinated operation. This confrontation caps a week marked by a spike in cash-in-transit robberies across several regions, highlighting a worrying rise in high-risk crimes as the festive season approaches. The Bulwer heist, which took place on Tuesday, involved a cash delivery truck traveling along the R617 road near the P27-1 Pevensey turnoff. The vehicle was heading from Underberg toward Bulwer when it was ambushed by attackers in at least two vehicles. The suspects forced the truck to stop, disarmed the two security guards by taking a pistol and a rifle, and fled with an undisclosed amount of money. Thankfully, no injuries were reported. Police immediately launched a search for the suspects, appealing to the public for information that could lead to arrests. KwaZulu-Natal Police spokesperson Colonel Robert Nechiunda said detectives were treating the case as a standard cash-in-transit robbery, stressing the importance of community assistance, as such crimes often escalate during the holiday season when cash movement increases. Just a week before, another cash-in-transit robbery shook Sir Lowry's Pass village outside Cape Town. A 32-year-old man was arrested in connection with a heist that occurred outside a grocery store along Old Sir Lowry's Pass Road. In that incident, a security guard had just collected a money bag when the suspect approached from behind, pointed a firearm, and fled with both the cash and the guard's weapon. Hawks investigators later identified the getaway vehicle based on a witness description and arrested the suspect shortly after. While this was a breakthrough, several others who were taken in for questioning were released when no solid links could be found. The robbery occurred around 10:30 in the morning, with the attacker firing a single shot as he escaped. No one was injured. Police cordoned off a large stretch of the road and diverted traffic to the N2 to conduct a thorough search of the area. In the same case, authorities initially detained 6 people for questioning at the Somerset West Police Station. After detailed checks, they were released due to lack of evidence. Hawks provincial spokesperson Captain Sabulanga confirmed that the investigation remains ongoing. The targeted guard was employed by Fidelity Services Group, a company frequently hit by such robberies. This incident highlights how cash-in-transit attacks often occur in broad daylight, in busy public spaces like shopping areas, catching guards off guard during routine money collections. These recent incidents form part of a much larger pattern of cash-in-transit heists that have plagued South Africa for years. One story that illustrates this is that of Takedown, a man known as the Bomber, whose life became entangled in the world of high-stakes crime. Born in Botswana, Takedown once worked as a security guard in South Africa. But in 2018, he joined a group of 5 men who targeted 2 cash-in-transit vehicles in Boksburg. His role was to plant and detonate an explosive to breach the armored van. The gang briefly succeeded, but their victory was short-lived. All of them were arrested on the same day. Earlier this year, Takedown was sentenced to 30 years in prison. Further investigations suggested he may have been linked to robberies worth nearly 200 million rand, and a search of his home uncovered 1.2 million rand in cash. His case highlights how individuals with insider knowledge, including former security workers, sometimes cross over into crime, using their expertise to plan intricate operations. Across the country, the crime landscape continues to grow more dangerous. Cash-in-transit heists have become a common sight on busy roads and in urban centers. South Africa now faces one of its highest murder rates in 2 decades, with more than 27,000 people killed in a single year. Only around 12% of cases are solved, allowing many criminals to strike again. Combined with poverty and high unemployment, this creates a deep sense of insecurity across society. Cash-in-transit attacks are particularly alarming because of their bold and highly visible nature. gangs ram security vans off the road using multiple vehicles, then use explosives or cutting tools to access the safes, often while traffic continues to flow around them, and while bystanders capture the chaos on their phones. Security leaders, such as Val Bartman from Fidelity Services Group, describe these syndicates as highly organized, almost military in the way they operate. Their planning and firepower make it incredibly difficult for guards to defend themselves. Bartman has repeatedly called for stronger government support, stressing that cash-in-transit services are essential for distributing social grants, supporting banking operations, and keeping retail cash flow running. Last year alone, Fidelity lost 15 guards in such attacks. One of their guards, Len Nance, who survived a recent ambush and chose not to reveal his full name, described the daily fear he carries. He said he begins every shift with a prayer for safety, knowing the risks he faces each time he steps into an armored vehicle.
As a human being, I'm scared, but hey, I'm going out. I might not come back, but it's life for everyone in CIT.
The rise of private security has profoundly reshaped daily life in South Africa. Armed response teams patrol neighborhoods, and signs from companies like ADT and Fidelity appear outside homes and businesses across the country. Today, private security guards outnumber police officers, creating a parallel system of protection, one that many rely on in areas where state policing falls short. Experts such as Lizette Lancaster from the Institute for Security Studies point out that while wealthier communities can afford these services, most South Africans cannot. In these areas, informal community groups often form their own protection networks. In cities like Johannesburg, private response teams deal with everything from stolen vehicles to active robberies. During one late-night patrol, a team tracked a stolen car using a hidden electronic device. After a brief chase, they confronted two men near the vehicle, but released them when no link could be confirmed. The stolen car was later recovered, abandoned as the thieves checked whether they were being followed. Police eventually arrived to take over, a scene that reflects how private companies often lead the way in such recoveries. This growing reliance on private security stems from deeper systemic issues. The African National Congress, in power for 30 years since the end of apartheid, faces rising criticism after failing to secure a decisive election victory last year. Although crime rates initially dropped after 1994, they have surged by 77% over the past decade, returning to levels last seen 2 decades ago. At the same time, police detection rates have fallen by more than 60% since 2012, further eroding public confidence. In response, the government has added 20,000 new police officers in the last 2 years, showcasing them at public events to signal renewed commitment to safety and crime reduction.
Drop being a gov and make sure that you are a separate.
An industry that was not regulated from the very word go. I don't know where were you when taxis were violent. Valiance. Do you know the car called a Valiant? Yeah, okay. Honorable Skosana would know that one. So there where they started with I'm a Valiant, I'm a 4-seater and all that kind of thing. So unregulated. So it was an easy kind of business where mostly black people could come because others, there were no opportunities. And indeed, it was allowed to go unregulated and then became the survivor of the fittest some time ago, not now, some time ago. By the way, there have been commissions after commissions working on this industry. What is a problem on it? But at the later stage, there was the entrance of big criminality on it. One of it, people that have stolen the money, special cash heist, they came in this industry, honorable member. Some of them, they came here because it's easy to wash your money. You work with cash and every day. because they wanted to continue with cash, and the cash helps to money laundering, clean, and all that. So those elements, they came on it. So indeed, I would half agree with you that they've been floor crossing to tenders with some of them. But what we would not agree is that this criminality entering this industry is new. It has been evolving. Taxi, cash heist, robberies, tenders, politicians coming on. It has been evolving all the time.
The cash-in-transit industry has expanded alongside South Africa's growing economy, and with it, the rise in violent crime. Legislation such as the Private Security Industry Regulatory Act of 2001 outlines the responsibilities of this sector, including asset protection and rapid response services. Armored vans transport large sums of money each day, making them prime targets for criminal syndicates seeking fast, high-value gains. Many of the robbers involved have backgrounds in the military or law enforcement, bringing with them specialized skills in planning, tactics, and execution. They study patterns carefully, choosing targets that offer the highest rewards with the lowest risk of being caught. Police define cash-in-transit attacks as the forceful taking of money or containers while they are being moved by security firms. Recent statistics paint a troubling picture. In the final quarter of last year and the first quarter of this year, nearly 57% of attacks happened while vehicles were on the move. Another significant portion, cross-pavement robberies, occurred as guards transferred money between buildings and vans, often in busy malls or parking lots. Some gangs even return later to intimidate victims and discourage them from cooperating. Many criminals see themselves as skilled professionals, striking heavily protected targets they believe can absorb the financial loss. Their operations are meticulously organized. Syndicates recruit individuals with specific talents, from precision drivers to explosives experts. They establish safe houses near intended targets, steal vehicles for escape routes, and gather disguises and equipment over weeks or even months. While the heist itself may take only minutes, the preparation behind it is extensive. Two main forms of attacks dominate the industry: cross-pavement robberies, where money is snatched during transfers, and full-scale heists on moving vans, where criminals force the vehicle to stop and confront guards directly, a scenario that dramatically increases the danger for everyone nearby. South Africa's history of cash-in-transit crime stretches back decades. In 1997, a syndicate stole 12 million rand from a Pretoria security firm in a heist masterminded by Collins Kai. Another attack that same year netted 17 million rand after criminals used steel spikes to immobilize a van. More recently, companies like Fidelity reported losing 16 guards between March and October last year, with many more suffering permanent injuries. The scale and brutality of these crimes have fueled widespread public anxiety. Today, many people feel uneasy whenever an armored van appears at a shopping center or outside a store. Experts believe technology could play a central role in reducing these risks, from drones and robotics for surveillance to advanced intelligence systems that predict and disrupt criminal activity. Police leaders are urged to embrace data-driven strategies and recruit technical specialists to stay ahead of increasingly sophisticated syndicates. But for now, criminals continue to adapt, using armor-piercing weapons and powerful explosives to breach vans. As official support struggles to keep pace with the threat, private security companies bear the brunt, absorbing both the financial costs and the human toll. Thanks for watching.